Hey y'all, you already know when you see that purple and black, it's Chef The Grizzly. Okay, so I want to welcome you guys to my very own cooking show, Twisted Roots, where I take a Western flair and I intertwine it with a little Southern soul. Okay, you want to know what we have today? So we're going to be cooking off 3 different things. We have Peachy French toast, we have rabbit and rice, and we're going to tie it all together with a little fish and grits with a Cajun cream sauce. First, we're going to start off with a little rabbit and rice. Let's get to it. So we have a little rabbit and rice. So first we're going to start off by putting a little oil in our pan, and we're going to get the oil nice and hot. I went on ahead and divided up the rabbit into sectional pieces. I did a little onion powder, a little garlic powder, sea salt, smoked paprika, and I also did a little cayenne pepper for a little heat. So, and then we also want to get the bell peppers, celery, and onions, a little mirepoix, and add that. We're going to add that in after we add the rabbit in. Okay, so we're going to start off by searing off the rabbit, getting a nice sear on the rabbit. Okay, so for the prep for this, you want to roughly marinate it overnight, or you can, if you don't have overnight, you can do roughly about 6 to 8 hours. So you just want to rub it, get a little oil, rub it together. I do roughly about a teaspoon of each, and then just season it as you go. Now, growing up in the country, we grew up off rabbit stew. We ate so much wild game, it was ridiculous. I mean, we ate bear, raccoon, squirrel, possum, sometimes roadkill. Don't tell my mom I told you that. But some days we would even eat a little bit of roadkill. And so I decided to do my very own spin on rabbit and rice, on chicken and rice, because chicken and rice is something that I grew up eating. It was very nice, it was very hearty. So I decided to, let's add a little wild game to the mix. Let's kind of elevate it, let's kind of take it up a notch. And so I was like, let's do some good old rabbit. So rabbit is super lean. It kind of tastes just like a chicken thigh, so do not be alarmed. Oh, I'm eating a rabbit. It's totally fine. A little rabbit ain't gonna kill nobody. It's definitely not gonna kill nobody. So you just want to take that out of the pan once you're done. And you can use the same pan that you just had it in, because you're gonna go back in with it. Get a nice sear on it. Growing up, my going to cookouts, we would I always had like a regular family, and I also had my country family. My country family is where I got most of my wild game cooking from. If you don't like eating wild meat, I would suggest you definitely do not go to a cookout, because one instance, my Aunt Clara, the first time I ever ate raccoon, she was like, I was like, Aunt Clara, what is that? She had it cooked so good, barbecued to perfection, to where it was bust down like pulled pork. I'm thinking I'm finna go in there and eat some pulled pork. She's like, oh no, baby, that's coon. Go on there and get some of that coon meat. I'm like, what? So from there started pretty much my love for wild animals, wild game. And since I've been to Nevada, the western part of the United States, I've learned to cook elk, mountain lion, beaver, bear. I've cooked just about a lot of different items. Okay, so when this almost has a good sear on it, we're gonna take this out and we're gonna add in our mirepoix, which is just the bell peppers, onions, and a little bit of celery. You're gonna get a little fun, mix that together, saute it, get a nice good sear on that. Get it nice and caramelized. Growing up, we often had to hunt for our dinner. We often had to fish for our dinner. How's the saying go? You teach a child how to fish and they'll never be hungry. This is that instant. Teach somebody how to make some good old rabbit for what they got in their backyard. You'll never, ever, ever, ever starve. All right, so we got a good little sear on these onions. Just gonna sweat them out roughly about 5 minutes. And you see the pan is deglazing nice and beautifully. Perfect. The smell already that is coming off, it's like 5-star for sure. 5-star. Get a nice little sweat on these guys. And then after that, we're gonna go in with a little butter. And then we're also gonna add in a little thyme, and we're gonna add in the rabbit. We're gonna add the rabbit back to it. And we're also gonna finish it off with a little stock. And we're gonna add in a little cream of mushroom at the very end. That's my little secret. The cream of mushroom really brings it all together. I remember growing up, my cousin, they would always go and hunt, and they would bring back whole animals, like a whole wild boar, a whole hedge, a whole turkey. Sometimes we even have gators. We even grilled a whole gator off one time. I mean, good country cooking at its finest. I feel like it doesn't get any better than Georgia. Of course, you got Louisiana, you got Bama, you even got Florida, you even got the Carolinas, but it's nothing like Georgia soul food. Now we're going to add the rabbit back to the pan. And this is a quick and easy and simple dish. I'm going to add all those juices to the pan again. And we're going to add a little of our stock. And we're going to let this go roughly for about 20 to 30 minutes. You want to bring it to a boil, and then you want to let it go on a low and slow simmer. You don't want to rush it. You don't want to move too quick with it. Just take your time. Take your time. We got nothing but time. Get it all the way filled up to the top. A little bit more. Perfect. There we go. And we're going to finish it off with some thyme. And we're going to add in 2 bouillon cubes. We're going to add another one in just for safe measures. And we're going to hit it with a little Cajun seasoning. Because if it ain't seasoned, you ain't seasoning. And we're just going to let that go for roughly about 20 minutes. We're going to let it come to a boil, a raging boil. And then we're going to let it come to a simmer. And we'll be right back. Alright, so we're back. While the rabbit and rice is finished simmering, we're going to start on the fish and grits. Okay, so for this dish, it's super easy. We have some tilapia, some fish fry batter, grits, smoked Gouda, and we have a bunch of seasoning spices, and we also have a Cajun crawfish, a Cajun sauce that we're going to do. It's just heavy cream and a little bit of smoky paprika and a little Cajun sauce. So first we're going to get started on the grits. What you're going to want to do is get a little heavy cream and just boil it. Some people like to do half and half, like half milk, half cream, or just straight milk. Some people don't even do any cream. Me personally, I'm all about the creaminess, the richness. Also a grit connoisseur also, so I like to do mine with just straight cream. So we're just gonna get the cream all nice and hot, and then we're gonna whisk in our grits. The measurements for the grits are roughly double. Like you want to do 2 cups of water, 4 cups of water to 1 cup of grits. You want to have it like a 2-to-1 ratio, because it will wind up expanding on you. And you can, if it does that, that's totally fine. You want to just make sure you keep the whisk moving. Do not let it clump up. Don't let it get clunky. And even if you have the 5-minute grits, never cook your grits for 5 minutes. I always do it roughly about 10 to 15, sometimes even 20 minutes, depending on the type of grits that you have. It's nothing worse than a gritty grit. I hate gritty grits. That should be smooth, velvety, taste like butter. And this dish right here is so sentimental to me, because this is one of the first dishes that I've cooked that made me actually fall in love with cooking. I remember being young, I was around about 5 years old. We had just went to go fish, and my dad, he was cleaning the fish while my mom, she was in the kitchen cleaning them and helping skin them, frying them up, putting a little batter on them, dunking them in the little cast iron. You gotta have the cast iron when you're frying. It's almost mandatory that you have the cast iron while you're frying. And right off the bat, I'm gonna lower it down because I don't want them to cook on high and burn you. If the pan gets to bubbling too much, turn it down. You don't want to burn yourself, because these grits, they do stick. The term stick like grits, that's so true. I'm gonna add a little bit of heavy cream, more cream. Can never have enough cream. So now I got a good stopping point with that. We're gonna get the fish. So I went on ahead and used buttermilk, hot sauce, garlic powder, onion powder, and a little bit of Cajun seasoning, and I kind of basted the fish with it, kind of got it breaking down. And then what we're gonna do, we're gonna batter it up in the fish fry batter, and we're just gonna set it to the side. Make sure it's all nice and evenly and coated. I've been marinating this roughly for about 20 minutes. It doesn't take long for it to kind of get intertwined. The buttermilk and the hot sauce actually adds a nice acidic component to it. So for the fish, we're just gonna do this. You wanna make sure it's all evenly coated. Make sure it's all evenly coated. Gotta pat it down like a little pat method. But going back to the story with my father and my mom would always be in the kitchen cooking, and one day she said, "Theodorian, I'm gonna show you how to cook." I was about 5 years old. I got my first introduction to cooking, and when I tell you, I didn't want to do anything else. I thought I wanted to be a wrestler, but that quickly got diminished once I started cooking fish and grits and a little cornbread and most Southern eats. And it's just, I feel like I knew what I wanted to do from the age of 5, and it just helped me to get where I need to go. We're going to shake off all the excess, and we're just going to lay them on this cutting board right here. And if your hands get a little dirty, that's okay. That is okay. We're going to follow the same method as before. Evenly coating, making sure it's all evenly in there. You want to make sure you have it more than coated, because that's good flavor. But I knew early on, I quickly said, I don't want to be like Trish Stratus. I want to be like Sonny Anderson. I want to be a great chef. I want to be the best chef that I know that I could be also. Don't stay in competition with anybody. Just have that me versus me mentality, and you'll always be at the top. All right, so I'm gonna wash my hands. And we're gonna let this sit roughly about 5 minutes with the batter on. And we're gonna go check on these grits. Stir, 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 which they are looking fabulous. They're looking nice and creamy. Have a nice thick consistency like we love. Also gonna add just a pinch of salt. I like to be very, very basic when it comes to my grits. Salt and pepper only. Now when you start getting to the cream sauce, that's when you can get all creative, you know? But for this, we just wanted to be so simple, ever so sweet. Now going back to the rabbit dish, it's been roughly simmering for about 15 to 20 minutes. So what we're gonna do next is, and it looks beautiful, look at that nice beautiful color, look at that nice beautiful rabbit leg. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. We're gonna add in our rice. Now this is just jasmine rice that we're adding in. And a little goes a long way. And we're just gonna let that sit and simmer, and I'm gonna turn it down just a little bit lower and have it going a little bit slower. And we're gonna let that marinate. And we're also gonna add in the cream of mushroom. Get a nice even mixture on that. And this also will act as a thickener to it also. If you don't like mushroom flavor, I suggest you add cream of celery. And you can also do cream of chicken also. And we're gonna let that go for roughly for about 10 or 15 more minutes until the rice is cooked. And we're just gonna stir it on occasion. All right, moving back to the grits, which the grits are looking phenomenal. Add a little bit more cream. We're gonna get this tilapia ready to fry. All right, so nothing hurts like testing out the oil. Make sure it's nice and hot, which it is. We're also gonna I'm gonna cut it up just a smidge. All right, and we're gonna fry. Lay it in very slow and very gently. I might have to fry one at a time. These are some big body tilapias. And we're gonna always make sure we keep those grits stirring. Don't want them to stick. Growing up, grits definitely was a comfort food of mine, 100%. I feel like I can eat grits for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's always the north versus the south. Are you team grits? Are you team oatmeal? I'm here to tell you, I'm team grits. Nothing like a little southern soul. Nothing against oatmeal. You know, I love a good oatmeal mix. Fish is frying up very, very nicely. Just want to leave it, let it be. You just want to get it prepared. Get a little paper towel, or you can get a nice towel to catch your grease on for your fish. It's looking like he's almost ready. Oh yeah, oh yeah, you see the nice golden hue on that baby? She's ready. Okay. I'm gonna melt a little butter for your cream sauce. We're gonna have a nice, good buttery cream sauce. So we're just gonna start off by melting roughly 3 teaspoons of butter. Gonna check on this rabbit stew over here. Oh, it's paying off. It's coming along very nicely, y'all. Look at that. Look at that. Make sure you stir from the bottom. You don't want the rice to stick. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Get this butter nice and melted, and for the cream sauce, it's just going to be heavy cream, smoked paprika, Cajun seasoning, and you want to let that reduce at least by half. Alright, we're going to add in our cream. And then we're just going to go in and season it. Little paprika. Smoked paprika, I feel like, is my secret weapon to almost any dish. I love the smokiness that it gives off. It has a nice hue that it also gives off. Makes the food look like it's seasoned. You're gonna give that a nice little whisk. And we're gonna let that do what it do. For the grits, we can now add in our cheese, our nice Gouda cheese. Smoked Gouda is another secret weapon that I absolutely adore. Give that a good little whisk. Slow motion for me, slow motion for me. Look at it. Beautiful. This is the perfect consistency and thickness that you want for your grits. I love a nice thick grit. Beautiful, beautiful. Alright, for the fish, just open her up. We're going to flip her over. Just like that. Make sure you be careful and use a towel. I remember this one time for this job tasting that I had, I made this exact same dish, and he easily, the executive chef of a 4.5 diamond hotel, told me that it was the best tasting that he had in the last 15 years. I was blown away, blown away. And I'm giving it to you guys. Beautiful, a nice beauty. Make sure you get all the excess grease off. And we're just gonna do this. Beautiful. We're gonna add in the second one. Low, slow, not too fast, gently rub it in there. There we go. And you can see this is thickening up so nice and so well. This is easily one of my favorite comfort dishes of all time. Of all time. Rice is starting to look like it's almost there. Maybe about 5 more minutes on that. And we'll be plating up some rabbit and rice in a little bit. Beautiful, beautiful. Let that go. You can even put this on high also, just to kind of let it reduce, but you don't want it to over bubble. And sometimes if you have it too hot, it'll start to curdle up. So you don't want your cream sauce to break. So just kind of make sure you're watching the temp on it. You don't want to let it get to where it's like bubbly, 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 bubbly. But you also just want to kind of find like a slow simmer for it. Stir those grits, make sure they stay nice and hot. Make sure that cheese is melted all the way through. I'm telling y'all, this rabbit and rice got me ready to dig in right now. I'm ready to dig in right now, as the old folks say. Make sure the fish is doing what it's supposed to do, which it is. All right, so now it's time to plate up. Baby, let me tell y'all, this rabbit stew right here is not to be played with. So we're just gonna put a little bit in here just like this. Nice bit of chicken, a nice bit of rice, nice upscale. We're gonna just pick out the thyme leaves. And then we're gonna garnish on top with a nice, beautiful rabbit leg and a little piece of the head. Just wipe around the sides. Now tell me that don't look like some rabbit stew your grandmama and them used to throw down on or chow down on back in the day. Woo! Wee! Woo! All right, so we have the rabbit stew. Now we're gonna do the fish and grits. We're also gonna plate up the fish and grits. So you just wanna get a nice little last final whisk out of the grits. Then grab a spoon and you should just be able to pour it in there, on there. Nice little spoon. Do up a daisy like that. And get a nice beautiful piece of fish. Lay it on top. This cream sauce that we let reduce by half. See how nappe it is? Very nappe. And you just want to do a slight drizzle on the top. Just a slight drizzle. And then you want to go in with just a smidge more. And we'll clean this up just a tad bit. And we're going to put some nice, beautiful scallions on top for garnish. Baby, if this don't look like it could be in a magazine, I don't know what will. Perfect. And now the final star of the dish, my Peachy King stuffed French toast. Stay tuned. Hey guys, for our last and final dish of the day, we have my Peachy King stuffed French toast. Okay, so it's basically the concept of like cream cheese and peach pie filling stuffed and rolled into a French toast brioche loaf. Okay, so what you're gonna need for this, you're gonna need some brioche or either challah bread. I got a whole loaf and cut them into like couple inch thick slices. You're gonna have, for the batter, I went on ahead and pre-made. It's just pumpkin pie spice, cinnamon, egg, and a little bit of cream. Whisk that together, money. And for the topping, we have candied walnut streusel. So for that, we're gonna make the candied walnuts fresh and in-house. It's basically just sugar, a little bit of egg white, mix it together, spread it out on a sheet pan, money. Bake it off, money. For the peach cobbler filling, we're gonna take cream cheese, and we're gonna take a little bit of vanilla, just a touch of the peach pie filling, and we're gonna take some cinnamon. And with that, we're also gonna add in a lot of sugar, and we're gonna beat it together. Get a hand mixer and just start beating it together. Just beat it. All right, and once it's to a nice consistency, we can spoon it back into this beautiful ramekin bowl. And it smells just like Thanksgiving. It smells just like Christmas. It smells just like the good old holidays. All right, so we're gonna put that right back to the side. All right, and now we're gonna get started on candying our walnuts. So you're gonna get just your walnuts, and then you're gonna get a little bit of egg wash and a little bit of sugar as well. A lot of sugar. You're gonna add the same seasonings, the pecan pie spice, and just a smidge of cinnamon. You're gonna give that a good, nice mix. And what you want is a nice coated morsel just like that. And I'm gonna put it on a sheet pan. Make sure it is flat. You don't want them to stack on top of each other. That way, you just make sure it browns evenly. And we're gonna finish that in the oven for about 10 to 15 minutes. You just want the crystal to really just harden on the walnut. Okay, so now we're gonna start the peach pie filling mixture. We're gonna get the peaches. We're gonna turn the stove on. There we go. We're gonna melt roughly about 2 tablespoons of butter. And once the butter is melted, we're pretty much gonna add in the peach filling with sugar and the spices that you just saw and a little bit of vanilla. And we're gonna let that get working and coagulating. And while the butter is melting, we're gonna go ahead and start assembling the top of the French toast. And I always like to use this type of French toast just because it's sweeter. It has a higher content and it's just so good. I feel like the sweetness and the sweetness of the peaches is really good. We love sweet on sweet. This is definitely not a healthy dish by any means. By any means. And you just want to get a nice spread on there. You don't want it to be too much, but you don't want to put too little on there. You just want to make sure it's nice and evenly coated as such. Usually I always put my bottom loaf pretty bigger than the top loaf, and I can already smell how that cream cheese filling is smelling. It smells heavenly. All right, so we're just gonna add in our peaches. You're gonna get cinnamon. Gonna get the pumpkin pie mixture. Give that a nice wash. Add a little sugar. A lot of sugar. When I say a little, I mean a lot. And just give that a good toss. We want to let this cook roughly for about 5 minutes or so. I want to say I feel like I am the French toast goddess, if you will. I feel like I've made so many different combinations of stuffed French toast that it is ridiculous. I feel like I'm the undisputed queen of French toast. Me stuffing French toast first started off as a client. Shout out to Latia. She came to me and she was like, Chef D Grizzly, I see this picture, can you make it for me? And I'm like, girl, yes, I can. Not only did I supersede her expectations, she brought a slew of people to me the next time, and it kind of I kept running specials in my hometown. And when I say they would sell out within 5 minutes, literally, no joke, I would sell out French toast specials. So I wanted to kind of just tie it in with me being a Southern girl, Georgia peach as you will. I said, why not let's do a peach cobbler stuffed French toast. You can never have too much peach. You can never have too much French toast. Now what I'm doing to the peaches is just mashing them up so they're not whole pieces. I'm roughly cutting them in half with a spoon or a fork, whatever you desire, just to kind of make sure that we don't have big old pieces of peaches in there. And you can do it beforehand or you can do it after, but I like to do it while they're actually cooking, so the juices is actually chopping up in there. And you want to let this go for about 5 minutes, 10 minutes till it get nice and syrupy. You want to kind of have it on high to medium heat also. And once this mixture is finished, we're gonna add it to that, and then we're gonna stuff it all in one, and then we're gonna French toast style it off, saute it off. And it smells so good. It smells just like my grandma's house back home in Georgia. But going back to the stuffed French toast, I've done oops all berry stuffed French toast. I've done strawberry shortcake stuffed French toast, cookies and cream stuffed French toast, apple cinnamon stuffed French toast, fruity pebbles stuffed French toast. Pretty much any combination of French toast that you can think of, probably more than likely I've already done it. There we go. We getting nice and thick. There we go. Okay. And we're gonna let this cook for roughly about 5 more minutes. And once this is done, we'll be right back. Stay tuned. All right, so we're gonna get this mixture that's been heating up. See how thick and syrupy and nice it is? All right, we're just gonna layer it on just like that, and be careful because it's hot, because I have chef hands, but I know everybody doesn't have those good old chef hands. And so, oh my god, it smells so heavenly. You want to make sure you get just a little bit of the drizzle on the top. There we go. And now you just want to stuff it. And if it oozes out, that's okay. That's a-okay. Now it's time to dunk it. You don't want to leave it sitting in the mixture for too long. Just enough to coat in and out. And now we're going to take it to the stove to fry good old French toast. Make sure you rotate it around just like that. Make sure every side is evenly coated. Just want to get some butter, melt some butter, and prepare for this good old French toast. You're gonna want to let this go for at least 3 to 5 minutes on each side, just to make sure it's golden and cooked all the way through. Also, for the rest of it, remaining liquid, you're gonna want to save. And also for the peaches, you're gonna save this for garnish. And the little extra cream cheese mixture that you have, we're gonna save that for garnish also. Also say don't let it stay on one side for too long. You're just gonna have to keep evenly flipping it. But look at that, beautiful, 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 beautiful French toast. You have some nice brown butter going on. You want to keep the pan relatively low to medium heat as well, just because you don't want it to overburn. And you can even mash it down a little bit. Money. When I tell you my house, this smells just like Thanksgiving. It smells just like grandmama's house. You even want to lift it up on one side, two sides, let it cook on that side. And look how buttery that is. It smells so phenomenal. Okay. I'm gonna give it a nice flip once more. There we go. Almost there. Nice buttery hard texture. Give it just a mashed little pat down. Keep them working, keep them working, keep them working, keep them moving. Kind of almost just similar to the grits. All right, I'm gonna put them on this table. Woo. Now it is time for my absolute favorite part, cut and plate up. All right, so you just want to get a little bit and just slice it, slowly slice it. I like to leave this piece whole. And we're gonna open her up. Have those big beautiful peaches that we love oh so dearly. And we're gonna get this mixture that we just had, and we're just gonna make it look pretty. That's all, nothing more, nothing less. We're just gonna make it look pretty. Put a little bit on top. And it's super hot still, guys, so make sure you're careful with these peaches. And then we're just gonna do a light drizzle on the top. The cream cheese. Just a little dollop. And we're just gonna drizzle this nice sugar caramel sauce over the cheese, over the cream cheese, and over the French toast. Make sure it's all drizzled and leaking. Y'all, I don't know about y'all, but I'm finna go for what I know. Make sure it doesn't melt, and if it melts, it's okay. These are the candy walnuts that we had in the oven. I just took them out of the oven, crushed them up, and now we're just gonna garnish with it on top. Baby, Peachy King stuffed French toast. Stay tuned, because we're gonna recap every dish that I just did, so make sure you stay tuned. All right guys, this is the end of the road. This is the final recap of everything we've done today. Okay, so we started off with the rabbit and rice, and then we finished off with the fish and grits with the Cajun cream sauce, and we brought it on home with the Peachy King stuffed French toast. Now, you see that purple and black, you already know it's Chef The Grizzly. Thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart for tuning in into Twisted Roots. Also, I want to make sure you guys follow me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Threads at Chef The Grizzly, CHEFTHEGRIZZLEY. Make sure you guys like everything, subscribe, and you guys have an amazing time. Be blessed.